Hello and welcome, myself Krishna Singh. Today we will learn about mycology, all about the mycology. Now let's have some introduction of mycology. What do you mean by fungi? Fungi means mycos. Mycos is a Greek word. What? Greek word. That means mushroom. Mycos means mushroom. That is edible form of fungi, mushroom. Okay. Now the fungi is a eukaryotic organism. All are eukaryotic organisms. They may be unicellular or multicellular. The content of the cell wall. Now let's see the content of cell wall. What the cell wall have? The cell wall have the chitin. The most important part of the cell wall is chitin, and second one is beta glucan. Okay, and the third one I'm telling is that the ergosterol. Ergosterol is not present in cell wall. It's present on the plasma membrane. And the plasma membrane, okay, but in one type of fungi, the ergosterol is absent. That is pneumocystitis. Okay, what? Pneumocystitis. Now, the important thing is that they all lack chlorophyll. So they need energy. Oh, energy by which mode? Saprophytic. So all are saprophytes. Okay, they all are saprophytes. Now let's see the classification. Classification is three type. That is based on morphology. Second is taxonomical, based on taxonomy. It's not toxo, it's taxonomic. And third is based on disease caused by fungi. Okay. Now let's have a look for a morphological classification. Further classified into four groups. There is yeast, yeast-like, and third one is molds, and fourth one is dimorphic fungi. Now let's discuss yeast. Okay, yeast. Yeast, it is a unicellular form of fungi. What? It is unicellular form of fungi, unicellular state, and divide by formation of budding. Divide by budding. And you can see here the bud is emerging out from the parent yeast, and the daughter yeast. Daughter yeast further gives the further buds, and parent yeast also gives the further new buds. Okay. Now, what do you mean by bud? Bud also have two other names. That is blastoconidia, blastospore. Okay. Now let's see the examples of yeast. Example. First is Cryptococcus neoformans. Cryptococcus neoformans. What? Cryptococcus neoformans. The second example is Saccharomyces. What? Saccharomyces. The one thing you have to keep in mind is here that Cryptococcus neoformans is a pathogenic fungi. Pathogenic. But Saccharomyces is non-pathogenic fungi. Non-pathogenic. Now let's move toward our second morphological classification type, that is yeast-like. Yeast-like. They actually exist in a yeast form. What exists in a yeast form? But the problem is that they fail to separate out their daughter birds. Then they form a new type of structure, that is pseudohyphae. It is not a hyphae, that is pseudohyphae. Okay, that is called a pseudohyphae. You can see in a figure there is a parent bird, daughter bird, daughter bird. They do not separate and no separation. Pseudohyphae. I'm gonna show you the difference between true yeast, pseudohyphae, and true hyphae. Okay. Let me draw that. The first one I have drawn is yeast. Okay, with budding. The second one is pseudohyphae. You can see the septations or that depression between the two septas. And third one is true hyphae. The true hyphae may or may not be present in yeast-like fungi. Okay, and the what is the main difference between pseudohyphae and the true hyphae is that pseudohyphae have depressions in between the septi, depressions in between two septi. Okay, now you can see here the depression, but true hyphae do not have the depressions. Okay, no depression in true hyphae. That's the main difference. Okay. Now the examples of the true yeast is yeast-like fungi is Candida, Malassezia, Trichosporum. Okay, three examples: Candida, Malassezia, Trichosporum. Okay. Now let us move toward our third morphological classification. Third is molds. What molds? Molds exist as a hyphae. Molds are further classified into two main parts, that is accepted molds or septed molds. Accepted molds are also called sinusitic molds, multinuclear, and the second one is septed molds. Let us see one by one septed and accepted molds. Okay, accepted or sinusitic molds. Accepted and sinusitic molds. The sinusoid means multinuclear. If there is no septa between two cells, the nucleus are free to move, and there are multinuclear condition. No septa, multinuclear. And the hyphae are broad and ribbon-like. Okay, hyphae of accepted or sinusitic molds are broad and ribbon-like. Okay, you have to memorize that thing. The phylum, in which phylum the accepted hyphae or sinusitic molds comes, there is a glomerulomycetes. Glomerulomycetes. Okay, in glomerulomycetes, accepted hyphae has come. Okay, now let us see the examples. The examples of accepted hyphae: Rhizopus, Mucor, Leishthemia, or Apsidia. Okay, Leishthemia is also known as Apsidia. Leishthemia. And next one is a Conidibolus. PO. Conidibolus, and the last one is Apophysomyces. Apophysomyces. Okay, Apophysomyces. And the next category we have is septate molds. Septate molds, they have septa between the two cells, and you can see here the septas. Okay, and there are also two types. Septate molds are further divided into two categories. There is a first one is melanin in hyphae wall, which is known as pheoids. What pheoids or Demeticious septate mold. Pheoids and Demeticious septate molds. Okay. Now let us see the examples of melanin in hyphae wall or pheoid fungi. Okay. That is first is for example, you can see the melanin over the chitin wall. Okay. Now melanin present in the cell wall. The example. First example is Madurella. Madurella. Second is Exophilia. Exophilia. And third is Alternaria. Fourth is Curvularia. Fifth is Piedrae. Piedrae. Okay. Now let's see another one. There is a hyaline septate molds. Hyaline septate molds. They have glass-like appearance. Hyaline septate molds. Okay, they have a glass-like appearance. Now let's have examples of hyaline septate molds. Let's go with examples. First example is Aspergillus. Okay. Then second example is Fusarium. Third example is Penicillium. Penicillium. And fourth example is Acrimonium. Acrimonium. And fifth example is Dermatophytes. And last example is Pseudoyeast. Pseudoyeast. Okay. Now let's move toward the mycelium. What do you mean by mycelium? First of all, you have to know the definition of mycelium. Hyphae grow continuously and form a branching, tangled, tangled mass of growth. Okay, hyphae grow continuously and form a branching, tangled mass of growth called mycelium. Okay, you can see here the branching tangles. Okay, there is a mycelium. Mycelium is further a two type. Okay, first is aerial mycelium. Second is vegetative mycelium. Aerial mycelium. Aerial. Aerial means in the air, or vegetative on the surface. Simple. Aerial. Part of mycelium above the culture medium. Okay, one thing you have to memorize or you have to keep in mind is that these both classification, axial or vegetative, are based on the growth of mycelium on culture medium. Okay, and the aerial one you can see the over the surface, and vegetative on surface, and aerial above the culture medium. Okay, vegetative on the surface based on growth on culture medium. Okay, now you got now what is axial. Axial is a part of mycelium of the culture medium and vegetative on the surface of culture medium. Now let's move to our fourth one, that is dimorphic fungi. Dimorphic fungi exist in a two morphological state. Two morphic, that is mold form and yeast form. On SDA medium, SDA sabrodextrode agar medium at 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, that fungi exist in a mold form, and on BHI, brain heart infusion agar medium, that exist in a yeast form. Okay. Now the examples of the dimorphic fungi. First example is Histoplasma capsulatum. Histoplasma capsulatum. Okay. The second example is Penicillium marnifi. Penicillium marnifi have another name, that is Telleromyces marnifi, or we can say the Telleromyces marnifi. Telleromyces marnifi. Okay. The third example is Sporothrix shankai. Sporothrix shankai. Okay. And fourth example is Blastomyces dermatitis. And the next example or the last example is Coccidioides emittens and Coccidioides suadosi. Okay. Emittis and Coccidioides suadosi. Okay. Now let's move toward the taxonomical classification. Taxonomical classification is based on two types, that is on sexual spore or a sexual spore. Okay. Two type. Based on sexual spore, the further divided into four types, that is phylum Zygomycota. Phylum Zygomycota. Second is phylum Ascomycota. Third is phylum Basidiomycota. and next one is phylum Deuteromycota. Okay, now let's see and Zygomycota. Zygomycota are low fungi, and this term is not applicable for all other fungi. And the spores, let's what type of spores are formed in Zygomycota, that is zygospore and Ascomycota, ascospore, and Bacillomycota, bacillus-spore, Deuteromycota, no spore, no sexual spore, no sexual cycle is seen in Deuteromycota. Okay, then you have to keep one point in mind is that zygospores are 2n and rest others are n half. Okay, the examples is of Zygomycota is Rhizopus muca, and of Ascomycota, Aspergillus, Bacillomycota, Cryptococcus, and Deuteromycotes we will discuss later. Okay, now let's see them. Deuteromycotes. Deuteromycotes are also called as a fungi imperfecta because there is no sexual cycle is seen in that, and but they are medically more important than these three phylums. Okay, uh, let's see the zygospore. Zygospore is 2n, the meeting of hyphae, gametangia, zygote, and zygospore by mitosis. But in Ascomycota, after zygote, meiosis occurs in N, same as Bacillomycotes. After formation of zygote, there is a meiosis and haploid cell is formed. That is Bacillus. Okay. Now next classification based on the asexual spore. Taxonomical classification, asexual spore. Asexual spore classification is further categorized into two categories, that is vegetative and aerial. Vegetative. Vegetative I already told you on the surface of culture media. Vegetative is for the three type. That is arthrospore, blastospore, and chlamydospore. Okay, arthrospore. Arthrospore. Arthrospore by the septate mold. Okay, arthrospore are formed by septate molds. How they are formed? If there is a mold, septate mold, there is a breaking of mold at their septa, form the spores, arthrospores. Okay, examples of arthrospores forming fungi are coccidioids and trichosporum. Okay, trichosporum. And the next one is blastospore. Blastospore by yeast or yeast-like fungi. Blastospore is formed by yeast or yeast-like fungi, and the example is Candida. Okay, examples of blastospore is Candida. The next one is chlamydospore. Chlamydospore, they only formed on nutritionally deficient media. Okay, only seen or formed in nutritionally deficient media. Examples of chlamydospore are, let's see the examples. Examples are Candida albicans and Candida dubliniensis. Okay, dubliniensis. Now move toward our next one, that is aerial, asexual spore. And vegetative, I already told you, vegetative on surface of media, and aerial above the surface. Okay, now let's see the aerial one. Aerial are further categorized in of four type. First one is conidia. Second one is sporangiospo. Aerial spores, all are aerial spores. Conidia, sporangiospo, microconidia, macroconidia. Okay, microconidia and macroconidia. Let's have examples of conidia. That is aspergillus. Okay, aspergillus. Sporangiospo example is Zygomycetes. Microconidia, that is dermatophytes, and macrosame dermatophytes. Okay, these are aerial spores, and I already told you the vegetative spores. Now let's see the arthrospores. I already told you vegetative hyphae, arthrospore, sept at the Septa cells separate out chlamydospores. Chlamydospores are multicellular. They are connected with the septa and coniospore and blastospore. Blastospores formed by budding. Sporangiospore is like sporulation. Okay. Thank you guys. Part first is over. I hope you liked it. Second part is coming soon. Thank you.